Hi, my name is Adnan Hasbi, and I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Rambling of an Analyst. In today's episode, we're going to talk a little bit about skills. This would be, actually a very historical day for this channel. One of the reasons why is that this would be our first ever, um, yeah, uh, um, first ever coverage on the US market, and we're going to start this coverage by talking about the stock Skillz. By the way, if you guys, uh, I do apologize if you guys realize that maybe this is the second time I'm recording this live. I think the first time around I was trying to find a live, I couldn't quite find it. So, yeah. So again, I do apologize if you guys are listening to the same content twice. But as I mentioned to you, I had some technical issue the first time around. Right now, I am going to talk a little bit about this stock called Skillz. Anyway, that aside. So, in case you guys are wondering, in today's episode, we're not going to talk about the blue chips like Apple. We're not going to talk about the blue chips like Amazon. We're not going to talk about blue chips like Tesla. We're not going to talk about the blue chips like Google. And one of the reasons for this is that I think, as many of you guys know, I've always been one of the contrarian, meaning to say I've always done things opposite the grain. Once everyone is moving towards one investment style, I always move on the other side of the investment style. So most of my stock pick are going to be really like off the wall, like what is this guy talking about kind of investment tips. But anyway, this episode, as I mentioned to you, I'm going to divide this episode into three. The first, I want to talk a little bit about what this company does, right? Secondly, I'm going to talk about how I managed to find this stock. That way, I think if any of this knowledge I can impart to you is how I manage to find stocks. That way, even you eventually will be able to find stocks on your own. And that's the overall goal of this channel, for you to be more financially savvy in your decisions with regards to investing in stocks. And finally, the upside catalyst with regards to this particular stock. So let's start this episode. Number one, what does this company do? So in a nutshell, what Skillz do is that it is a backbone to enable people to play multiplayer games, right? And right now, with the mobile phone penetration rate getting higher globally, and with mobile phones getting cheaper and cheaper, almost everyone today has smartphones, right? And indirect beneficiary of this is that it's also the gaming industry or casual games. And I noticed that there's this prevalent trend right now whereby more and more people, they would like to play less games, which is AI driven, but more games which are multiplayer driven. A personal example of mine, back in the day, I used to play games like Pong, or I used to play games like Super Mario. Yeah, I'm kind of carbon dating myself over here. So in Mario, right, when you meet a bad guy, all he does is just walk back and forth, back and forth, and back and forth. So if you can actually time your jump so that you can actually hit the guy on the head, the bad guy actually kind of dies. So, but in multiplayer games, the amazing thing is that multiplayer games, you have really good players, really excellent players. Some of them are not so good players, but you know what? Playing with other people is super duper duper fun. So right now with Skillz, this will enable people to play multiplayer games. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing is that how I managed to pick this particular stock. As many of you guys know, I always believe in this thing, and I always tell you guys many times, look at the products you use on a daily basis and look at the demand for this particular product. Assuming like right now, if there's a phone, right, and you notice that this phone, a lot of people are lining up for that particular phone, right? At one time, that was Apple maybe 10 years ago. And look at Apple stock today. It actually rose quite significantly. So right now, I noticed that more and more people are actually playing multiplayer games, and it's getting more and more popular. Finally, why I like the stock is that threefolds. Number one, there's this company called ARK Invest, which is very popular. And this ETF actually performed really, really well. And ARK Invest is actually one of the bigger stock. They bought a stake in Skillz. That's the first thing. The second thing why I like this stock is that this stock actually had really good growth numbers on, I think, on a year-on-year basis. And looking at the growth numbers, it actually gave me more confidence in buying that particular stock. And finally, me being a gamer, I noticed that more and more people are playing multiplayer games, and that's one of the reasons why I bought this particular stock. Full disclosure, I bought this stock for about 15 US dollars. And sorry, I got people on the background, such as recording live. Sometimes, you get technical difficulties. But anyway, I bought the stock at $15. It went up as high as $21. And yeah, it was a 40% gain in 1 week. So it's really cool to start off this historical episode talking about US stocks and telling you guys, the gains that I actually managed to get investing in this particular stock. So with that, the whole premise of me making all of these episodes is to enable us to find really good stocks, and stocks that we can believe in, and stocks that really make sense to us, and stocks that investing should be common sense. And if it makes no sense at all, stay away from that from that investment. And so far, we could see that this channel managed to make gains of about 2.5 times by using common sense. Nothing too complicated. With that, I'd like to, open the floor up to any questions. My thoughts on cryptocurrency. Okay. I think cryptocurrency, in fact, if some of you guys may know, I've already started working for, a fintech company. And one of the things that we are talking about is also cryptocurrency. And cryptocurrency is getting more and more mainstream, right? And again, cryptocurrency is a different currency, and it's based on supply and demand and how much of trust people have. And right now, me working in the financial industry, a lot of people are actually looking towards making it more mainstream. So with that, I think cryptocurrency is actually there to stay. I think it's a really force to be reckoned with, I think. Having said that, I'm not a cryptocurrency investor, so I don't know whether it's going to go up, going to go down, so I'm not sure. But to tell you from an industry standpoint, I can see more and more people investing in the cryptocurrency space. Any other questions? All right, guys. With that, I want to say selamat berbuka. I do apologize for the background noise tadi. And as I mentioned to you, I'll be looking towards more US stocks in the future. Stay tuned. We're going to talk about Malaysian stocks, US stocks, whatever stocks. So with that, take care, and I hope to see you guys in the next episode. Selamat berbuka, and good luck for the rest of the Ramadan month.